Hello, my beautiful co-creators of the new paradigm. Thank you for tuning in or for tuning in again. My name is Wieteke. I'm a channeler, a consciousness explorer, and a dream archaeologist, as I know many of you are too. And it's been a little while since I shared a Arjun channeling with you. If you're completely new to my work and you don't know who Arjun is, check out my YouTube channel. There's many free segments of channeled material that you can choose to dive into to explore a little deeper if you wish, up to you, or you can stick with this video and see where it leads to. So in this one, I wanted to share a transmission, a recently recorded transmission with Arjun about the topic of attempting to manipulate your reality in such a way that you may, quote unquote, prevent hardship. This is a really interesting question. I didn't really, grasp the answer until after the channeling itself, and I re-listened to it. That's when I get to listen to the information from my own persona, self point of view, so to speak. And that's when I realized he's really referring to many layers of a much bigger equation in this segment. And I'm also very much realizing that the more I learn, the less I know, or I realize how little I know and how much we're still all learning. That's why I'm always so curious to hear what you guys have to share, particularly also when it comes to my vision series. So if you're new to my channel, I'm currently in the midst of sharing a series of visions that I've had over the past 20 or so years that I strongly feel are relevant to the times that we are living in today. But of course, make up your own mind. I'm not saying how things are. I'm not here to do any kind of prediction. Much more, I'm here to explore together with you guys, as I genuinely believe every single one of us holds relevant puzzle pieces. And I can only see one piece of the puzzle at a time, although I'm also understanding from the Yael, Arjun is a member of the Yael, that we as a collective are moving into a version of ourselves where we will be capable of seeing multiple versions of reality simultaneously, or whether we're seeing them or we can hold them simultaneously. I'm not sure about that, but I've had some really interesting out-of-body experiences that seem to indicate that we can do both, or that we can do it now, but we will be much more confident, let's say, much more fully embodied in the remembrance of our deeper knowing that we can do it now. We can do it. We're there now. There's not even something that really needs to change other than our acceptance of our true multidimensional nature. And that will then, linearly speaking, cause that famous shift that everybody is now speaking about. But what we're really doing, we're just remembering ourselves. And this is something that the Yael are very excited about reminding us of if we choose to align with these concepts. I always say, do your own investigation, do your own research, compare this to your own lived and embodied experiences, and then make up your mind. And I will continue to always add that to anything I share. So in this particular transmission, Arjun actually goes into a bit of a timeline explanation. And I really loved that. And also it made me think of a video I previously did wherein I explained from my own understanding at that time how we are growing into a greater multidimensional awareness from our individual point of view. And that video, I really recommend, if you haven't seen it, I shared it 4 years ago. It's a long time ago. I look different, everything different, but that information, still the same, still my understanding of that, still the same also. Even though I guess where I am right now, it's more nuanced and some information has been added on to that. But I just wanted to refer to that video. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. I'll put the link here or there. I don't know. You'll see it. I trust you'll find it if you want to. And that video really goes into how when we change our point of view regarding a certain what we might call memory or something that quote unquote happened in the past, how we then actually change that past. And in a sense, Arjun was hooking back into that same theme in this recent transmission. Now, I'm going to share that little transmission with you, and then right after that, I'll be back with this tiny, cute-ass drawing board to share with you guys a personal realization that I had after re-listening to this channeling. All right, so let's dive into that transmission with Arjun, and I'll see you right after.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
To what extent can we actually prevent certain events from happening? And to what extent are events already aligned with experiences souls wish to have? How much influence do we really have as humans?
Thank you. Well, on one hand, we would say, you will never know. Because as long as you're choosing to live from a linear time-space perspective, whatever happens the second it has happened, you could say, had to happen. So the root of least resistance then is to simply choose when something has happened, the moment it has happened, to accept that it has happened. Because if you do not accept that it has happened, you're fighting a very primary level, a very fundamental level of beliefs inside your time-space reality programming, if you understand what we mean. And in order to come to a place where you remember that you can move freely through time and space, which you can, you will first have to evolve to a level of neutrality regarding the idea of all possible timelines in existence. So say something happened and you regretted it afterwards. Now, if you continue to feel this level of regret or anger or bitterness or what have you, you're fighting the situation as it was. You're not accepting it. The root of least resistance is to begin by accepting what is, or what was in this case, so that you can arrive at what is. You bring yourself back into the now by accepting what was without fighting it. It was what it was. And by saying that, you bring yourself to the now. You are where you are. And only from the now you can begin the healing journey of repairing or rephrasing or redefining whatever negative belief might still have kept you seemingly stuck to the idea or illusion of the past. When you do that, you bring yourself into a state of neutrality. And from that neutrality, you can review the event from a new perspective. For instance, you may find that the way you looked at it previously no longer aligns with you, and you're choosing a higher point of view, a higher perspective. Now you're choosing to look back at the event and you can see gifts in it all of a sudden that previously you could not see. Now you can see perhaps, wait a minute. On further examination, I actually do understand why this quote unquote had to happen. I can see what I learned from this. I can see why perhaps another person was hurt when I did such or so. Or I can see why I felt hurt when they did such and so. And I can see that my pain is my pain, and that their pain is their pain, and that we are both on our individual journeys into getting to know ourselves better. That neither one of us is carrying the ultimate responsibility for the other person's well-being. Now, you may try your best to make amends or make apologies or what have you, if the circumstances ask for that and it seems appropriate. But if none of that works out, then carrying on the idea of bitterness or resentment is just you, in a sense, attacking yourself. In a way, you continue to bring yourself down and you continue to keep yourself stuck to an old paradigm, negative definition related to this past event, which pulls you out of the now, which pulls you out of neutrality. So again, accept. The opposite of resistance is acceptance. So accept what was, brings you into the now, and allows you to look from a higher perspective. And as you do look from a higher perspective with compassion and love, you can overlay that new perspective and allow it to merge with the past event. Now you're shifting timelines. Because with that higher perspective merged over, quote unquote, the past event, you have changed the past. You have changed its, you could say, energetic and molecular imprint on your entire body, on your entire being. Every cell begins to listen differently now when you choose to think of that event. Your mood will change. Circumstances around you begin to shift, because now with a different past timeline, you will automatically, quote unquote, attract or allow in rather different future timelines, still explaining this from your linear point of view. Then you are in the neutral zone and you begin to lean into positivity. And so other events that you would call future, but that are just other here and now moments, can then become more obvious to you, that will reflect back to you what matches your now newly found understanding. In other words, if there was a past event that left you bitter, you are of a vibrational frequency that continues very often, as long as that past event has not been properly integrated, that will continue to bring you, lovingly bring you, more examples of similar situations that you can learn the same kind of lesson from. But if you find neutrality regarding that past event, you clear up that vibrational wavelength and new future timelines can open up to you. You will be open and receptive to future timelines that bring you new events that allow you to learn new things about yourself, new realizations that perhaps are a continuation of the past, but come to you in a very different angle, much gentler, much softer, usually speaking. So when you're asking, to what degree could we have prevented something? It depends on to what degree you are willing in the here and now to look at your shadow side. If you are avoidant of your shadow side, you will, and this is automatic, and this is God flowing through you. This is you being part of the all that is, desiring with every fiber of your being to be in harmony with the whole. As you move from this desire, which comes from a way deeper level than your rational thinking mind, you will bring yourself that what is needed to find yourself in harmony with your surroundings. And if you have a shadow side, or you're carrying with you a negative belief that you weren't even aware of, this desire will bring you that person or that circumstance that will trigger you to such a degree that you will become aware of that negative belief. And we're saying this smiling and with a wink, because this is how much you love yourself. This is how much your higher self wishes for you to put all that is shadow into the light, to rebalance, to accept, to find the root of least resistance, which is unconditional love. Eventually, in the end, all comes down to unconditional love. But if something really needs to happen, it will. And this is a co-creation. If it really needs to happen, it may be something that brings up shadow for somebody else. It may be a situation where you have volunteered on a soul level to be the trigger for somebody else, where yes, you can learn something too, but it may not be about you preparing for it with doing shadow work. In either case, there is no such thing as preparing in that way, because you have decided to be present in the now, to live in the now, to allow life to flow through you and to come to you. And from that, by allowing this to unfold in that way, you're allowing yourself to be surprised. You also came to be surprised. Life is not about preventing. Life is about being lived, fully present in the now. And to make it smoother, yes, you can look at yourself, you can do the shadow work, you can do what you feel is needed, not by pushing, but by coming from genuine, pure curiosity and excitement for the discovery of the gem, the treasure, the magic that is you. This is what life is about. This is the journey that you have allowed yourself to tap into so that you could have the experience of that, one step at a time. Okay, so that was the transmission with Arjun, and as promised, I'm back for a little bit more, just additional information, because I came to a personal realization regarding this whole time-space reality construct thing and how we relate to goals, but also memories, because it really doesn't matter whether we place our focus on the so-called future or into the so-called past. We're still doing it from the now. And the way that we've been conditioned to do that is incredibly linear and therefore very often incredibly judgmental. And if you more look at our evolution as something in nature, I mean, we are we are of nature. We are children of Mother Earth. We are in that sense the children of Source, of God, of all that is. And we're organically evolving, like a flower that opens and blooms, like a plant that makes a new leaf. And we're constantly evolving, and simultaneously, every single moment is sacred and has its own type of temporarily experienceable perfection right in it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Particularly as I was speaking from my background as an artist, and I'll always look at the world as an artist in this lifetime, I think. But as looking at the world from the perspective of an artist, I really treasure those moments where you're making a work and at some point you just know, don't touch it anymore. This is it, it's done. Hang it on the wall, enjoy it. Just now it's time to just enjoy it. And of course, there will come another point later in time, or maybe pretty soon after you hang it onto the wall, that you will feel a drive or an impulse to create something new, something entirely different, or something similar. And again, you will strive to get to that point where you feel this level of satisfaction. And it's good, it's beautiful. It makes me think of, in a sense, how in the Bible the creation of the world is described, and every single day ends with, and God saw it was good. I love that. I just love that. Whether you look at that in a very literal sense or more in a symbolical sense, it doesn't even matter. It's more about the vibration of the words, to me, reading the Bible or reading any kind of ancient sacred texts. It's about the vibration. There's something in between the words that just seeps through, that I believe tells us something or can trigger something in us that helps us deepen our understanding of ourselves and all that is. And in a sense, perhaps, if this is something that resonates with you at all, allows us to align more with our true natural being, which is very organic. I feel like things in nature, like things, flowers, everything, like beings in nature, let's call a flower a being. It's all alive. We are organically evolving, and in every single step of our evolution, there is perfection as well. It doesn't end there. I don't see perfection as something rigid or stagnant where things end or like a final goal. But for a project, there can be a goal and you can be satisfied about how that project ended. And then, of course, there's going to be something new. So, with that background in a very visual manner, I also listened to this Arjun channeling. And sometimes during the Arjun channelings, I am offered visuals. And so illustrations are pending, you could say. They're kind of like somewhere in the structure of my inner library waiting to come out. And there was one that I received with this transmission, and also after it solidified more. And I thought, I'm just gonna draw it out and share it with you guys after sharing this transmission. So this is, as I understand it right now, and I'm still learning, how we currently relate to events that we either place in the future or in the past. So the blue dots say that that's you. And the red dots say that these are either goals or even memories. So both of these are outside of the here and now. The here and now, I mean, they're inside the here and now because the here and now encapsulates all the other ideas of time and space. But rationally, when we're focused on a memory, something that happened in the past, or when we're really focused on something in the quote unquote future, we're often not present in our state of being. Our vibration is harmonizing with the storyline that we're telling ourselves about the past or about the future. And that's very linear. So you have these straight lines between yourself and this subject and that subject and that subject and so forth. So that's how we have been conditioned, most of us, particularly in the Western world, I have to add, in this co-created greater here and now. And after we return to a deeper understanding of our multidimensional nature, I personally believe that we will experience the crystallization of ideas or vibrations more organically. And it will be logical to our minds when they have been attuned to a deeper understanding of ourselves, because the better you understand yourself, the better you understand your place in the whole, and the more logical it becomes that you remember that you are what you see, in a sense, and even, or you contain aspects of what you see. I don't want to make it too one-on-one because there's definitely some situations that you don't want to identify yourself with in that manner. But when it comes down to it, maybe not you as a person, but on a higher level, a higher vibrational level, what you take in is something you're, in a sense, and choosing to merge with, in a sense, and it's a reflection of something that you merged with before, and it's actually being reflected back to you. So there's something, maybe you had a subconscious belief about society that may then later down the line be reflected back to you through a certain circumstance or a storyline in the news or what have you, that completely shocks you, completely takes you by surprise, and still somewhere in your energy vibration, that information was already there and it's just unfolding like that flower. It's just coming out. Some aspect of that on some level plays a part in how you're choosing to experience your version of reality in that here and now. And that's why, as I understand Arjun right now, why it's so important to accept what has already happened, because if something already happened, because otherwise you're just fighting, in a sense, aspect of you, as an aspect of you, even if the thing you see is incredibly undesired, something in there had to be already in the energetic field of your greater self, if only perhaps for the reason that maybe in you in this lifetime there is a desire to see a magnificently deep amount of transformation in the world around you as you perceive it. If you have that desire, then subconsciously pulling in information that seems incredibly shocking may add to the deepening of the experiencing of seeing these things transform later down the line. And that then makes them absolutely magical. So there's always a point of view that you can choose to align with if you desire that. Somehow it doesn't make it right. I'm not saying it makes it right, whatever the incident was. It still needs to be dealt with, looked at, integrated, all of these things. Trauma is a real thing. It's a real experience. And there is a reason for everything. This is my personal belief. And it, in no way, shape, or form do I mean to say that justifies acts that are out of alignment. But also looking at the world this way helps me remain in it, but not of it, if you understand what I mean. That is what helps me be with it and not fall into fighting against it or fall into judgment. Because I believe it is all simultaneously existing. The acceptance and the discernment can exist side by side. So anyway, I'm going a bit off on a tangent there, but to bring it back to, okay, when we come to a deeper realization regarding ourselves, and again, about everything I just said, you do not have to agree. This is just my point of view. I'm not standing on a soapbox here like, this is what you have to believe. It's how I see it right now. And the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. I'm just learning. I'm just a kid, just like all of you. We're all together nearing the starting line. That's what it feels like to me very often in this life. And still, I'm loving it. I mean, it's also beautiful. It's also beautiful. It's also amazing. And I love how many people are stepping up right now in this here and now as I'm perceiving it, to share more and more and more about their deeper understanding and all of their question marks. And I too still have so many question marks about this reality and what we're co-creating together. But for now, I'm choosing to believe that when we understand more about ourselves, that manifestation, or rather the allowing into crystallization of energetic imprints, becomes more of an organic journey looking like this. And then this is you, the blue dot is you, the red dots are still the events, the memories, the goals perhaps that you may have. And as you get to know yourself better, you naturally unfurl, kind of. I hope that's the correct word. Unfold like a flower, and all of these things will just drop into place. They're just there. There's one other leaf with this color and another leaf with that color slightly different, and it just makes so much sense, and it is perfectly positioned in the here and now of that flower unfolding and opening up to the sun. And the better we get to know ourselves, the more of this kind of experience I believe we can have as a human being, exploring the physical form and the physical idea of focus as we are. So I just wanted to add that at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, as well as the channeling with Arjun. And I'm really looking forward to see you in the next one, wherein I will be sharing another one of my visions in the vision series. All right, I love you guys. I wish you a beautiful rest of your day and see you in the next one. Bye.